Welcome back. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another Chicago Brew Crew episode. My name is Mike Moreno, and I'm here with fellow beer enthusiast Josh Stern.
How's it going?
So today we're going to be talking about rising vines from life and limb. For those of you that are not familiar with this is actually a collaboration between Dogfish Head and Sierra Nevada. I actually tried the one last year and I thought it was a really, really good beer. So I thought it'd be a good review to go over this one this year. Josh, if you want to kind of go over that, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure. So I did some research on the Dogfish Head website about this beer. It's really interesting because they really go all out with this beer. They have 3 processes that they use to make the taste what it is, and hopefully we'll taste and have a great time tasting it. But the first process is there's 2 dry hop processes. The first one is a hot side, which is a normal dry hop process using Bravo hops from the Pacific Northwest mainly. The second process is the new process. It's also a dry hop process, but it's a cold side, so they put the hops they try putting the hops in a nylon sack and letting it sit in the fermented liquid for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And they realized even after that time that the hops in the middle of the sack never got wet. So they were wasting hops in that sense. So what they did, instead they etched out the plant actually in a bar. So they said on the website in Chico. And they decided to make this torpedo system, which is brand new, where they're able to better control the pressure and speed of which they cycle the hops in the fermented liquid. So they're moving it around, it's moving, so all the hops are being liquefied and being put into the beer that way, and I'm really excited to see how it's going to taste. The third process is just a wheat process, incorporating wheat in one of Sierra Nevada's new breweries in North Carolina. So they're all over the place.
Very interesting. Yeah. So actually, I believe the IBU in this is actually pretty high.
It's high. It's like 70.
Yeah.
70 is the official IBU, which is, for you guys that don't know, that means International Bittering Unit. And the IBUs are used in every beer, really.
Yeah, and a lot of companies, I believe, use IBUs to kind of level off the bitterness, right?
Well, it actually increases the bitterness in a way, but it does it more about pulling together other flavors, because the hops are a very strong flavor, and they will sometimes overpower all the other flavors, the floral flavors.
Well, actually, from what I heard also is that this is really high as a really rich
hop.
Yeah, a lot of hops in it. So that's one of the main reasons why the IBU is actually
they used a special variety for their hops in this one. It was what's it, 644, I think they called it.
Yeah,
a special variety of the Bravo, also Pacific Northwest Bravo hops.
Yeah, and actually the reason why it's called 644 is because there are 643 other varieties of hops out there. So they don't even have a specific name for this yet. It's just called 644. So I think that was also really interesting. And another thing to note on this beer is actually the ABV is 8%. And for those of you who don't know what ABV is, that's alcohol by volume. So that's also pretty high compared to most beers out there. So yeah, let's try this beer and we'll tell you what we think of it. So the first thing you really want to notice in this is the color is actually really great. It's a crisp gold, somewhat deep. I really like how the color is.
The wheat comes through, I think, because usually at 8%, it's going to be a darker, especially an IPA.
Yeah, it's not. I'm actually surprised. It's a little dark, but it's not extraordinarily dark like you would expect in such a high alcohol content beer, especially one that's an IPA. So
yeah, it smells nice too. You still get the strong IPA smell.
Yeah,
like you smell it, it's IPA.
You can smell the hops in there, almost like a citrusy, floral kind of smell to it, which is definitely definitely from the variety the hop 644. So yeah, let's try this beer out right here and cheers. Yeah, cheers. that is very, very hoppy. There is a lot of hops in here, definitely a lot more than I was expecting. And I've had some pretty hoppy beers before. I love my IPAs, but this one is almost on a whole other level.
It's that 70 IBU.
Yeah,
Bitterness.
it is definitely a bitter beer compared to other IPAs that I've had.
So when you sip.
Yeah, what do you think of this beer?
I like it. I mean, you know you're going to get that kind of bitterness from the IPA. You do taste the citrus in that aftertaste.
Yeah.
Kind of on your tongue a little bit.
Yeah, the aftertaste is pretty long. It has a pretty long aftertaste in there. I actually, you know, I compare this to other IPAs. It's just hard to because it's very different compared to, you know, most other IPAs that I've had. It's a lot richer, almost, I would say. Well, on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you actually rate this beer?
I would give it a 4.5. It's not at a 5 for one reason, and that's because I do think it's a little too bitter.
Yeah.
Even though it is an IPA, I know I do taste the wheat a little bit, but I wish I tasted the wheat more. And I expected something different from the color. It's the only thing. I really do think it tastes awesome though, and I would definitely have this with like a strong cheese, like a goat cheese, or like a blue cheese.
Yeah, this is definitely a really good pairing beer.
Yeah.
It definitely would go really good with something like that. But yeah, to be honest with you, I would probably give this a 4. I did enjoy it, but I don't think that the bitterness was right with me. It was a little more bitter than I was expecting. I definitely enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. This is a phenomenal beer. But
we are talking about Dogfish Head too, which is known for their.
Yeah, Dogfish Head likes to experiment a little bit with their beers, and also, you know, it is super hoppy, which is definitely a signature of Sierra Nevada. Sierra Nevada tends to make pretty hoppy beers, but overall, I do enjoy this beer. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I definitely like this. But yeah, for everybody out there, I hope you enjoyed our little review of Rising Vines from Life and Wind. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also find us on Beer Menu, Facebook, and Twitter. And before we go, we're just going to do a nice little salute to the Don.